Does SBA use FICO SBSS scores? I get that question a lot, and in this training, we're gonna dive in and decode everything you need to know about SBA, what they're using for underwriting score-wise, and talk more about FICO SBSS. I'm gonna show you exactly how FICO SBSS score works, what it is, how it's calculated, what you need to know to get a phenomenal score. We're gonna talk about SBA and how they underwrite files and how and what scores they're actually using to make all kinds of decisions about you. I'm going to give you tips and tactics along the ways to be able to get good FICO SBSS scores and be able to get approved for SBA financing. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to get you access to our funding vault of 27 killer ways to get money for your business. So even if SBA won't work for you, we'll give you plenty of access to other funding options that absolutely will. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. So let's start at the beginning. What the heck are FICO SBSS scores? So we're familiar with credit scores with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. They're the main credit scores used by a lot of lenders and credit issuers. But what a lot of entrepreneurs don't know about is that FICO actually has a score that works in the business world as well, and it's called FICO SBSS. Now, FICO SBSS is very unique and very interesting because it's not a score that you're ever actually going to be able to access and get on your own. And here's why. FICO SBSS is customized per the actual lender that's actually using it. That's what makes it so unique. So that means that your FICO SBSS score with Wells Fargo is different from what you're going to find with Chase and different from what you're going to find with Bank of America. That's the appeal of FICO SBSS score. So let's talk about some of the basics. FICO SBSS depicts your risk of going late on accounts, basically over 90 days late over the last 12 months on accounts that you may actually be issued. So it tells lenders and credit issuers whether or not they should give you credit and the likelihood that you're going to pay back that loan or credit that they're actually issuing. The score ranges from 0 to 300, with 300 being the best score you can get. So a higher score is good with the FICO system. Now, here's what's unique about FICO is that each bank that actually uses FICO has their own determination of how that score is actually weighted or prioritized. So let me give you a better idea of how this works. FICO SBSS pulls in a lot of information from a lot of places. First of all, it pulls in your commercial credit scores into the actual overall score calculation. So it looks at your Dun & Bradstreet, your Equifax, Experian commercial credit reports and scores, and it pulls that in to FICO SBSS. And it also looks at your Equifax, your Experian, and your TransUnion consumer credit data and consumer credit scores and pulls that information in as well. So when we look at this, we see that FICO SBSS is a reflection of your risk, taking into account your consumer scores and your commercial scores. Now, how is this done? That's where it becomes lender specific. So each lender, let's say Bank of America, may determine, hey, we want our FICO SBSS score to take into account Dun & Bradstreet commercial data first, Experian commercial data second, Equifax commercial data third, then we want to pull in Equifax, then Experian, then TransUnion consumer data in this order. We want to weight it that way. So DNB's Paydex score and credit report data has more weight by far than TransUnion consumer data. Or they may flip it around. So each bank determines which bureau, which score they actually want to weigh higher into the system and prioritize. This is why you can't access FICO SBSS, because it's different for every single lender because they're determining how the actual score is weighted. So what data is really taken into account? Well, pretty much everything. So they're looking at your utilization, they're looking at your credit scores, they're looking at how you've actually paid bills in the past, they're looking at public records, judgments, tax liens, even lawsuits in the commercial side or on the business side. They're looking at bankruptcies, all that information. It also takes into account a lot of other data from your business credit reports, your actual industry, okay, how long you've been in business for, what your revenue is, what your net profit is, how many employees you have, okay, your overall score summary with the bureaus, taking into account factors, like I said, like your industry. So all of this information is taken from your commercial, your consumer credit reports, and then used to determine if you should be lent money, how much you should be lent. Now, who's using FICO SBSS? Well, a lot of different institutions are, including Key Bank, including Huntington National Bank, but it's really used primarily primarily as a driver for SBA. So for example, you need to have an acceptable score with FICO SBSS to even get an SBA loan. You can't even get an SBA loan with a score under 140 with FICO SBSS. So you have to make sure that you're building a good FICO SBSS score, because if you don't do this, you cannot qualify for SBA financing with any lending institution. So it's used by a lot of banks, primarily by SBA, to determine if you should be approved for financing, even how much money you may get. And now you know how important FICO SBSS is. Now, what do you do to actually get a good score? Well, the first thing you need to do is establish business credit. Look, almost all lenders that use FICO SBSS prioritize commercial data, information from Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian about your business higher than your personal credit reports. So you need to make sure you establish business credit. You need to build business credit with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. You need to get as many accounts on your credit reports as possible. You need to make sure you pay all those accounts on time or early to get really good business credit reports and scores. If you do that one thing and only that one thing, you will have a high FICO SBSS score. Now, if you have issues on the consumer side, get those fixed. There's plenty of people out there that specialize in the area of helping you improve consumer credit, and it's worth doing so, because if you do so, you will improve your overall FICO SBSS score. But I can't say enough that you need to work on establishing business credit. It's mathematically impossible for you to have a FICO SBSS score even high enough to get an SBA loan if you have no business credit established. You must establish business credit, or you can't even get an SBA loan because your FICO SBSS won't be high enough. So make sure you establish good business credit profiles and scores, get accounts at report, pay your bills, have any consumer credit issues, get those fixed. And if you do those things, then you're going to be well on your way of being able to establish an exceptional FICO SBSS score. Want to learn more? Well, go to youtube.com/credit suite, and you'll be able to find tons of training that we've done that really provide extensive details on how FICO SBSS works and things you can do to improve it. Plus, we'll give you all kinds of information about your other commercial credit scores with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Matter of fact, talking about credit scores, let me tell you how you can get your credit scores and reports for free with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. And you can do that by scheduling a consultation with us. On this consultation call, we will get your credit reports with D&B, Equifax, Experian for free, give you tips and tactics to improve your business credit. We will also come in and do a fundability assessment of what needs to be fixed to make your business more lendable, and we'll do a funding qualification, tell you all the financing you can get right now. All that happens on a free consultation. You can give us a call, 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. You can email us for your consultation at info@creditsuite.com. That's info@creditsuite.com, or you can schedule online at creditsuite.com/consult. That's creditsuite.com/consult. For more information on building your business credit, grab our free guide at creditsuite.com/EIN. That's creditsuite.com/EIN. And I look forward to seeing you on our next training, where we talk about more cool ways to get money to start and grow your business.